Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramanan and these are the top headlines from the startup world. Tonbo Imaging, a defense electronics original equipment manufacturer, has filed its DRHP with SEBI. The company's initial public offering comprises an offer of sale of 18,85,246 equity shares of 2 rupees each. The firm reported FY25 revenue of 469 crore rupees with 65% from overseas sales. Multi-asset investment firm Underneat Capital has announced the final close of its third private credit fund, Grand Underneat Fund 4, at 1,275 crore rupees, surpassing its initial target of 1,000 crore rupees. The portfolio spans consumer, engineering services, SaaS, manufacturing, hospitality and shipbuilding, with Underneat writing average checks of 80 crore rupees per transaction. Paytm's parent company 197 Communications is expanding overseas by setting up new subsidiaries in Indonesia and Luxembourg and bringing in a new investor for its UAE payments arm. Paytm plans to invest up to 25 crore rupees in each of the 2 new subsidiaries. ServiceNow will acquire cybersecurity firm Armis for $7.75 billion. Move aims to bolster ServiceNow's AI platform with Armis's device scanning and threat detection capabilities. The acquisition is expected to be finalized in the latter half of 2026. Italy's antitrust authority has ordered Meta Platforms to suspend contractual rules that could block rival AI chatbots from operating on WhatsApp. The move comes amid an investigation into alleged abuse of dominant market position by the US. Tech giant Meta has called the decision fundamentally flawed and says it will challenge the order in court. Those were the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. But on the hot seat today, as organizations scale, one of their biggest challenges isn't talent or technology, it's memory. Critical context, decisions and knowledge are often lost as teams change and tools fragment. Enter Buddy AI. The B2B first startup is building organizational memory intelligence so companies can capture, store and retrieve context across meetings, conversations and workflows. With paid enterprise pilots live, a growing revenue pipeline and a software-first approach to solving a multi-billion-dollar problem, we speak to the founder of Buddy AI about their product, traction and what's next for the company. Joining me now is Anit Patel. Anit, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. You know, as I pointed out, Buddy AI is sort of tackling a problem every organization faces, right? Loss of institutional memory. How big is this challenge today and how does your platform sort of solve it in a fundamentally different way? And take us through what you have on offer and give us some use cases.
Sure. Hey, Arundhati, thank you so much for having me here. So the core problem that that the world is currently going through is the organizational memory. Everyone is building the second brain and memory for normal users, but no one is really targeting brain for organizations, which we really want to go and solve. Because if we do that, if we have a first brain for any company or organization, everything will be there and there are going to be early signals pretty much in those companies. We are primarily having a hardware and software stack. So this is the hardware that we have. What it does is it keeps on capturing the conversations that we do. And once the conversations are captured, it goes to our state-of-the-art AI algorithms, and then it gives various analytics. It also stores in the database, transcribes the information, summarizes, such that it keeps on building an entire memory workflow. And over time, once we have lots of memory, it can also act as a brain.
Sure. And, you know, you're positioning Buddy AI as a software-first organizational memory company, not just another productivity or AI tool, right? So what makes your approach distinct in a crowded enterprise AI market?
So we are primarily targeting both hardware and software here. Even though we have all the innovation happening in software, we also feel that AI is not only should not be only restricted to softwares, but also should be having a physical intelligence capabilities, which we are enabling and which is different from all of our competitors. Most of the competitors are only software, but we are keeping a mix of hardware and software such that any application which are off desk or anything that does not require any phone or wants to go away from phone, this makes it possible. And then it opens up lots of capabilities around that.
Sure. And, you know, you're at a very nascent stage at this point in time. You've got like 5+ paid B2B pilots live and around about $50,000 in ARR, right? So what kind of teams are sort of adopting Buddy AI and what early feedback are you getting from enterprises?
So in our case, field sales has been a power packed use case where we are solving problem all the way from ground up till the organizations. So anyone doing sales on fields, they capture their conversation from customers, and there is a knowledge base building on top of that. So that field sales for field sales reps, we are documenting at ease. Field sales managers get overall understanding of what exactly is happening on ground on real time. Basically, it's called ride along, and then an organization can get understanding of what is really happening at the early stage, and also the revenue can be hampered, so we give analytics on top of that. So our power packed use case is field sales, and we are going to target that use case for a couple of years, and we are going to go deep down into that, and we are going to solve problem for that.
All right. And, you've got letters of intent worth roughly $500,000, right? What is sort of driving this pipeline, and how confident are you about converting these into long-term customers?
So all of these LOIs are almost here to get converted. So we are expecting them to convert in Q1 itself next year. We are pretty much ahead in terms of integration. And January, we are just doing lots of live beta across teams in US, all the way from CPG, beverage, alcohol, medical representatives, and at the same time, real estate agents and so on across America. So it's going to be very fast paced. Right now, they are collecting data mostly that is territorial data, which is mostly by the competitors. But we also give them conversational intelligence on top of that. That makes this adoption very fast.
Sure, and your market opportunity is estimated at $3.6 billion, right? So where do you see the strongest demand coming from? Which geographies are you seeing demand coming from? Knowledge-heavy enterprises, fast-growing startups, or regulated industries? Where are you seeing all of this demand coming in from?
So in terms of geography, United States has always been forefront in terms of adoption of this tech. There were like early signals in terms of sales and revenue by early market establishment companies. At the same time, we also see this adoption very fast with the teams which are directly related to revenue. So say sales, anyone doing with marketing, anyone who is related to accounts, they are the one who are going to impact the revenue of the company. Thus the companies experiment a lot on that front. And those are the areas where we see fastest adoption. Fast growing startups, for sure, there is going to be an adoption, but anyone who is scaling the teams in terms of sales, in terms of their marketing or field sales, they are going to be the one who are going to be adopted very fast.
Sure.
In terms of highly regulated industries like medical, the adoption is going to be there, but it's going to take time in terms of conversion. So the conversion time over there is more than like 6 months.
So the conversion time is going to be an issue there when it comes to certain industries. But if you could quickly tell us in 30 seconds, you've also got your proprietary memory intelligence wearable, right? But you don't want to place yourself as the hardware being the main part of your revenue driver. So how does this device strengthen your software offering without changing your core business model?
So what this device does is when anyone is off the desk or on the field, they don't have to do anything or interact with any software. It just sits on your either label or it goes as a pendant, and it will keep on listening to the conversation. We primarily do transcription. We don't store any audio. So what will happen is, just imagine you just have a note taker buddy with you every time, and without doing any hindrance and just focusing on what is important, it ingest the data on real time to our databases. Thus, this takes away entire user interaction and experience hindrances with any software on real time.
All right, Anit, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street, and we wish you all the best on this journey going forward.
Thank you so much.
Moving on, one of the biggest challenges in girls' education today isn't enrollment, it's retention. As adolescent dropouts continue to worry policymakers and educators alike, new intervention models are coming into focus. At Nudge Charcha 2025, one such initiative, Launch Girls, outlined how life skills and agency building are being used to tackle the dropout gap at the most vulnerable stage. CNBC TV18's Aishwarya Anand brings you this report.
Across India, millions of girls enter adolescence with education, but leave without agency. According to global estimates, nearly 1 in 3 girls does not complete secondary school, often due to early marriage, unpaid care work, or lack of pathways beyond the classroom. Launch Girls works at this critical stage. helping adolescent girls build life skills, confidence, and economic readiness before dropout becomes destiny.
So I've spent my entire life in social impact work. I started a first NGO where we worked skilling life skills for boys and girls using football. All boys in schools were signing up and principals were like, we'll need a boys football team, etc. And girls weren't signing up. That's when the problem started for me in 2011. Parents don't let girls continue in schools after 14, 15, 16. They're pulled back to go home and start working, or they prioritize boys. This is still the situation across our country, by the way. So when we started Launch Girls, we thought really hard about how do we reach every single girl, no matter how remote she is or how close to us she is, right? Cities as well as rural parts of India, rural parts of Kenya, rural parts of Rwanda.
While enrollment has improved, retention and readiness remain the real test. Launch Girls focuses on building 21st century skills and personal agency, tools designed to help girls navigate life beyond schools, not just pass exams.
We're able to work with girls studying BA, BCom, engineering, law, fashion design across colleges. And we don't select girls, right? We bring in all girls in our college, in government systems especially. Now, what they're missing, whether they do BA or BCom, is how do you think strategically? How do you problem solve? How do you think creatively? How do you really know what is change readiness in the real world?
Yeah.
Those are the foundational skills, and we've built a competency framework of 7 skills, and then we apply entrepreneurial education and we deliver that as a package for girls across streams. In the past 5 years, we worked with 25,000 girls across 16 countries. We actually work with governments in India and we work with NGOs across Africa. And we train governments and train NGOs to deliver this program.
How do you ensure girls remain connected after the program ends, especially through their transitions like high school or college?
We've been very serious about building out a community, and we do this through simple tech like WhatsApp, right? We're connecting not only the girls as an alumni community to stay in touch, because we can give them so many ideas, but they have a huge peer network. Second, we are really building out this database of, we have technology in place tracking every girl who comes into the system. So let's say a girl came into Girl Boss and Launch Girls in 9th grade, and if she's continuing with us for 3 years, we're tracking what is happening with her with our program for 3 years, and then where is she going. And this is all some of the new work that we're doing right now. But from 2025, we'll know everyone where they are in the system and what are they doing. Attendance has gone from 30% to above 50% in classrooms wherever we exist. In smaller work, in smaller countries in Africa, we're seeing, in every batch, there is 90% attendance of girls coming if girls weren't coming earlier.
What began as a grassroots program is now moving closer to the system.
We want to be able to work with millions, and we're building this movement of 1 million. We are actually partnering directly with governments in India, and we're trying to make it formal part of curriculum in colleges. So it's like course credit. We're starting a few of our AI boot camps as soon as 2026 now. So I think that's going to be one of the core kind of pillars where girls are learning AI, applying it for entrepreneurship, to their gig economy jobs, or whether they join corporates, or whether they start a really small business wherever they are.
By stepping in before choices narrow, Launch Girls is working to ensure education does not end at the classroom but translates into independence. For many families, this is the first visible break from intergenerational cycles of early marriage and economic dependence.
At least like 80% of our girls are proudly saying that we are the first girls from our village to reach college, continue college, and finish college, right? So that's been big. And we are the first girls from our families to not get married before 18.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up next, India's direct-to-consumer innerwear and shapewear startup Underneat aims to transform the innerwear and shapewear industry. We put co-founders Kusha Kapila and Vimarsh Razdan on the hot seat. Stay tuned.
Well, mass premium shapewear brand Underneat, which was founded just in April this year, has raised $6 million in a pre-Series A funding round from Fireside Ventures. The company claims it has crossed 150 crore rupees in annual recurring revenue while remaining EBITDA positive in less than 8 months since its launch. Now, these funds are going to be deployed for scaling operations, strengthening distribution channels across cities in India. On that note, let me invite the Well, mass premium shapewear brand Underneat, which was founded just in April this year, has raised $6 million in a pre-Series A funding round from Fireside Ventures. The company claims it has crossed 150 crore rupees in annual recurring revenue while remaining EBITDA positive in less than 8 months since its launch. Now, these funds are going to be deployed for scaling operations, strengthening distribution channels across cities in India. On that note, let me invite the company's co-founders Kusha Kapila and Vimarsh Razdan for more on the brand's growth story. Vimarsh, Kusha, both of you, thanks very much for being here. Kusha, I'll start with you as to, what really got you to start Underneat, prompting that journey from being a content creator and actor to an entrepreneur. You started this Instagram series, of course, which we've all been seeing what to wear under, which has helped the brand gain some kind of early traction. How did you translate that into 150 crores of revenues?
Thank you so much, Ritu, for having us. This is a really exciting day for us. I think I knew how to make content, I knew how to tell a story. And this is a category I was extremely passionate about. I would go on sets and not find clothes in my size.
Well, mass premium shapewear brand Underneat, which was founded just in April this year, has raised $6 million in a pre-Series A funding round from Fireside Ventures. The company claims it has crossed 150 crore rupees in annual recurring revenue while remaining EBITDA positive in less than 8 months since its launch. Now, these funds are going to be deployed for scaling operations, strengthening distribution channels across cities in India. On that note, let me invite the company's co-founders Kusha Kapila and Vimarsh Razdan for more on the brand's growth story. Vimarsh, Kusha, both of you, thanks very much for being here. Kusha, I'll start with you as to, what really got you to start Underneat, prompting that journey from being a content creator and actor to an entrepreneur. You started this Instagram series, of course, which we've all been seeing what to wear under, which has helped the brand gain some kind of early traction. How did you translate that into 150 crores of revenues?
Thank you so much, Ritu, for having us. This is a really exciting day for us. I think I knew how to make content, I knew how to tell a story. And this is a category I was extremely passionate about. I would go on sets and not find clothes in my size. I would feel extremely frustrated, and I then started making my own kit. I started finding out brands that could support me on a set so that I could feel my best and I could feel most confident. And I realized there's a huge gap, there's a huge market. And I remember this one time I shared a shapewear brand on my story, maybe 3-4 years ago, and there were 80,000 sticker taps on that brand. And that day I thought, we need to come up with better shapewear or better innerwear for the Indian women, and that's where it started from. I was so passionate about it that I never scripted these videos. I would just put the camera on, and Ghazal and Vimarsh were like, you know what, you anyway so passionate about it, talk about it the way you talk about it in front of us. And then, well, I mean, I could make it funny, I think that's one thing I know how to do. So yeah, and I'm just so proud of the community we've built at Underneat. It's honestly really inspiring.
Well, Vimarsh, to you then, what has really helped you scale this quickly while you're also remaining EBITDA positive? Are there operational levers like, supply chain, inventory management, pricing, or something else that have enabled you to grow profitably?
First of all, thank you for having me. I think very important, my mindset always about business was always to have profitability from day one, because we are not a tech business, we are a consumer business where unit economics have to make sense from day one. Why we were profitable? Of course, there was a tremendous push from the community Kusha has built over the years. They trusted the brand. We didn't have to put too much marketing dollars into performance. There was a huge beeline when we launched on first day itself. There was tremendous amount of sales. We did a very good job with the product, where Kusha and I built the product for first 6 months when nobody knew what was happening in the background. And we, from month 2, we saw a huge repeat rate coming in.
Vimarsh, could you quickly give us a sense of the kind of monthly sales you're doing at the moment? At what pace is that growing, and the kind of customer retention you're seeing?
Again, coming back to when Kusha and I met for the first time, we always used to debate that we have to solve a large enough problem. We could always make a very good premium product, which maybe a very small percentage of Indians were looking for as a solution. So the focus was to reach more and more people, a problem which was faced by a large number of people. That is why the mass premium category was what we chose.
Kusha, I was reading that more than 2 lakh women provided feedback to Underneat. How are you prioritizing product decisions while scaling, and how much of that product roadmap is really shaped directly by these kind of community inputs you're getting?
It was difficult initially because as a creator, you take every bad comment to heart. And at that point, Vimarsh stepped in and said, there is a percentage that you need to look into. If only 1 or 2% people are not liking a particular product, that does not mean the product is not successful. So I think there was a lot of learning curve there. After a while, we started also taking very potent feedback. Our CRM team is, I think, one of the biggest pillars of this business. And you'll see this in our comment section also, where people are constantly talking about how helpful they've been and how we do have a follow-up strategy with them after they've made a sale.
Vimarsh, mass premium positioning is kind of tricky. How are you setting price points that appeal to Indian women while also keeping your margins healthy?
Definitely, distribution is one area in which we would like to invest. Any apparel business for that is very working capital heavy. Distribution needs that push of inventory. We are not going to have, our GTM doesn't define that we do all channels at the same time. We have very selectively chosen distribution channels in which we can penetrate and reach the customers we want to reach. Having said that, R&D is another basket in which we will put a lot of dollars.
Well, Kusha, what's the longer-term plan for Underneat? Are there adjacent categories that you're looking to enter?
I kind of sum it up in just one line. I want to take over the complete top drawer in a woman's wardrobe. I want to have every product there by Underneat. A woman's top drawer is a very, it's very foundational, because considering her outfit gets decided with what she has, with respect to in her top drawer. So I want to take over the complete top drawer first, post which there's definitely intent to get into more categories.
Okay, Vimarsh, the $6 million pre-Series A funding, how are you going to deploy it exactly? Can you walk us through your priorities and the kind of markets or channels that will see the biggest focus?
But definitely, distribution is one area in which we would like to invest. Any apparel business for that is very working capital heavy. Distribution needs that push of inventory. We are not going to have, our GTM doesn't define that we do all channels at the same time. We have very selectively chosen distribution channels in which we can penetrate and reach the customers we want to reach. Having said that, R&D is another basket in which we will put a lot of dollars. We would like to upgrade our product constantly, and the loop we have created with the customers in terms of communication, they define where we should invest on product upgradation. We have one of our departments in which we are strengthening by imbibing more technology, imbibing and recruiting more talent is the product development department. We are also wanting to do JVs across overseas JVs where this the R&D is evolved over the last many years.
Kusha, beyond this operational scaling, how do you plan to leverage this funding for, say, brand building, for marketing, and some kind of content initiatives as well to strengthen the market presence?
Definitely, for sure. Definitely going to the big ticket creative agencies to make campaigns. Of course, I will be fully involved in that, but it'll be great to work with collaborators who are making some of the best creative content, branded content in this country. I would love to hire more people, hire more faces. I would love to have Farah Khan be a part of Underneat. I feel like she reaches out to such an interesting audience and she's having such a great moment, online.
Kusha, as the brand continues to grow, how are you going to maintain your personal creative voice in marketing and storytelling while also ensuring some sort of consistency across the broader portfolio and managing the business part of it as well?
The whys and the hows of the brand are very clear in my head and how I want to scale it. There's not a lot of difference between what I am trying to say with this brand and the kind of women that I want to reach with this brand, and that's the same with my personal content also. I am about the girlhood experience, and as I am a woman now, I am into the womanhood experience. I always have created for the female gaze. Maybe if Underneath at some point has products for men, which by the way we're getting a lot of requests for already, because through our series a lot of men have had education on the innerwear section for women.
Okay, on that note, Vimarsh and Kusha, thank you so much for being with us here on CNBC TV18. It's been a pleasure having you both join us. Thank you.
माइक थोड़ा मैम सेंटर वगैरह ना